As you probably all have heard, Apple Glass was just leaked a couple weeks ago and it promises amazing applications for augmented reality. But what if you wouldn't even need glasses and instead would just use a contact lens that gives you superhuman powers in an instant? The Silicon Valley startup Mojo Vision has already raised over $150 million and is working on exactly that technology. They want to be the leading provider of AR contact lenses. Sticking a piece of tech directly into your eyes to display augmented reality sounds not too easy. So how does it work? What will be the use cases? What are the advantages over something like Apple Glass, Magic Leap, Snapchat Spectacles or Microsoft's HoloLens? What are the biggest hurdles and of course when? When can you go in the store and grab yourself a quick AR lens? All those questions are going to be answered in today's video, so stick around when we talk about the Mojo lens. So, how does it work? Well, not too much about the specific mechanisms used is publicly available because the final shippable product is not yet out there. What we know is that the lens wirelessly connects with another wearable accessory, such as a hat or a necklace or anything close to your head. And they actually built their own protocol specifically to create that link. The accessory, on the other hand, then connects to the phone or the cloud to get additional computing power and information. Now, if we compare this process to, say, Apple Glass, where as far as the leaks go, the connection will be straight from the device to the phone, this is an interesting difference. Why do they use this extra step? My guess would be that they are using some sort of short-range signal, which then gets amplified or transformed by the wearable. In terms of display, the current one is having 70,000 pixels and fits them into a space smaller than half a millimeter across, which makes it the smallest and densest dynamic display ever made. The user interface currently only exists as a proof of concept demo on a VR headset. They are also building custom chips for it and highly advanced eye tracking algorithms, which could be one of the major advantages they have. But before we get into the advantages, let's talk about actual use cases. Well, I just brainstormed for around 5 minutes and came up with a lot of science fiction type use cases. Zoom capability, infrared vision for workers, distance tracking, annoying dog filters for anyone you look at, a digital cheat sheet nobody sees. All sounds good, but what does the company say? Steve Sinclair, the Senior Vice President of Product and Marketing of the company, speaks of things like remembering someone you have met before, a virtual teleprompter, real-time translation and closed captions in the real world. It's all about giving you information that's important to you at any given moment, based on your context and what you are doing. He also goes on to say that it's hard to find the one application because as it goes for smartphones, your favorite application might be completely different from mine. Makes sense. Now, what are the advantages over other glass type technology? The biggest and most crucial one is probably the eye tracking capability, as the lens is on your eye and not a camera tracking your eye. We are building what we are pretty confident is going to be the best eye tracking in the world. We are not a camera looking at the eye. We are on the eye and know exactly where it's moving. This is very important because it determines where the best place to position your text or image or anything else is. And all that without interrupting you. Another obvious advantage is the form factor. It's smaller than glasses, not heavy, no one sees you staring. But to be fair, the Apple Glass display, for example, is also going to be just visible from one side. Anyway, despite that, it can also be used with your eyes shut, so that's pretty amazing. Closing your eyes and watching a movie? Sounds like science fiction. Also, it corrects your vision if you have a prescription, so that can be built into the lens. Yet, they haven't let anybody film through the lens, just look, but when presenting examples in a BBC report, they also showed off one lens with edge detection and night vision. Super cool. In terms of battery, they hope to achieve an all-day battery life. So you put it on in the morning and take it off at night to charge it in a clean case. They also have a high-profile team, which is consisting of veterans from Google, Apple, Amazon, HP, you name it. But of course, there are also hurdles. All those of classic contact lenses. External factors, for instance like smoke or anything, have to be considered. The cleaning process, how reliable would that be? And contact lenses are just generally more intrusive than glasses. Keyword: FDA approval. Also, the amount of information they can use is a big question. Apple uses a LiDAR sensor built into the frame, but putting that into a contact lens is nearly impossible. at least now. Of course, they have their external accessory, but I'm not 100% convinced about that additional layer, to be honest. And a huge developer community. They don't. And why are the big players all investing in glasses and not lenses? At least publicly. It can't be that hard to put 5 Google engineers into a room for a week and come up with a genius contact lens, right? Of course I'm kidding, but it's worth thinking about the actual market fit it has. Now, the big question. When? What is the time frame going to be? So, they started around 2017, and 2019 they already had a semi-automated build with oxygenation to make sure your eyes can actually breathe through the lens, and a custom fit. So constant progress is definitely there. To receive a funding, the company obviously had to talk to investors and get them on their side. And for that, you usually have to show something off. And what they showed off was the lens on the end of a little stick to make the spectators see the contents of the display. And according to Steve Sinclair again, people are just kind of blown away. It's like, I saw you could do it. The presentation slide says you can do it. But now I'm looking at it. And it works. Sounds good, but when will the classic customer get his hands on? First, they will use the Mojo lens to help people with visual impairments and build on more enterprise-focused solutions. For instance, helping first responders and then later target a consumer product. So the approach is similar to Google Glass or Elon Musk's Neuralink. First a specific market to facilitate adoption and then move on to a broader audience. There's no launch date yet for the Mojo lens, but Sinclair says it's not something that is 10 or 20 years away. Well, how about 5 or 3 or 2 or 1? Well, let's see how it goes, guys. I'm super excited for this technology, but I'm really not sure about the intrusiveness. Would you put a contact lens in your eye just to get some additional technology going on there? Let me know in the comments, guys, and I see you in the next video here on this channel.